Hello, hi everyone. This is Julia Martos. I am one of the curators studying at Birkbeck University that has been working in this season Trapped, the Cinema of Confinement, along with my colleagues Maya Kusina, Missy German, and Tom Flu. This season is part of the Korean Film Nights, which is a year-round film program celebrated since 2008 at the Korean Cultural Center of London. This year, this program is going to be online for first time. And for that, we have curated 4 films compiled from the Korean Film Archive with intention to build up a proposal able to reflect our feelings, worries, and fears as confined bodies working from home during quarantine time, but also searching for titles in this extraordinary history of South Korean cinema that allow us to span an idea of confinement, of what it means to be confined. That's how this season of in both physical and psychological isolation, restriction, and incarceration came to light. The opening of the season was 2 weeks ago with the film 301-302, and today I am very happy to introduce you Eunuch, which is our second film of the season, a 1968 film by Shin Sang-Ok, a film that I was completely in love with when I first watched it, and not only because it's fascinating aesthetics of medieval Korea with all its flashy costumes and sensual settings, but also because I think that there is something transgressive that we can obtain from our reading of the movie today, from the fate of women that are depicted on it. And I think that when you find this kind of contemporary meaning echoing in a historical film is something very, very thrilling. Regarding the plot, I don't want to spoil it too much, just to let you know that it belongs to the golden age of South Korean cinema, which was mostly consisting of melodramas. So we will witness a main love story that happens in a context of high sexual repression in a palace where a despotic king has confined an army of eunuchs and also a harem of concubines. So when this forbidden love arises, many other secrets of the inhabitants of the palace will be exposed, triggering a long-awaited rebellion. In relation with Shin Sang-Ok, you maybe know that he's considered one of the pioneers of the South Korean film industry. He was working uninterruptedly during all this golden age, which is 50s, 60s. After that, a truly bizarre event happens when at the end of the 70s, he was kidnapped by the North Korean regime of Kim Jong-il, and he had like a forced re-education during 5 years with the intention to, finally he was producing films for the regime. However, the film we are going to watch today, Eunuch, belongs to a previous period, okay? To a women-centered period that has been often identified as feminist. But Shin himself, he has recognized it, that the only reason to address women's films was to avoid the restriction and censorship of South Korea in that time. So he had no choice but addressing women's narratives in order to hide his criticisms to the Confucian moral and ethics, and a strategy that I find, very enlightening to say the least. But also it's representative of all these limitations and constraints of these filmmakers working under oppressive situations, under oppressive conditions in South Korea in that time. To conclude, I just want to invite you to read a blogspot that you will find linked in this page with further reflections around Eunuch, along with recommendations of what to watch in case you want to expand on the topic. That's all. Thank you very much for listening. Please don't forget our next screening of the season Trapped, the Cinema of Confinement, will be the 13th of August with this little gem that is called Transgression, and also the 27th of August will be the final screening of the season with the acclaimed Soponya, and also it will be followed by an online discussion that you can book in the Korean Cultural Center website. That's all. Thank you very much. I really hope you enjoy this wonderful melodrama, this piece of history, and see you in the next screening. Thank you.